Howdy. I'm Patrick Dooley. I'm the Senior Product Manager for GitLab's Ecosystem Group, and this is our 13.4 Kickoff. First up, we're getting back to work on group level integration. So it's been a long path to get here. There's been a ton of technical debt to solve, database changes that had to get done. We're finally able to get to actually implementing some of the group level integration stuff that instance level integration is in. So specifically, we've got two pieces we're going to talk about. One, we're adding the ability to do CRUD actions, so create, read, update, and delete actions for group level integrations. And this was dependent on adding the group ID attribute to the services table. So we also had to do this a couple of iterations back. We've been making some changes to how we save those integrations. So now that we have the group ID attribute, we can actually start creating those group level integrations, which then allows us to actually select those as an option. So we added this dropdown recently. So if an integration has instance level or future group level integrations available, what you'll be able to do is select something from this dropdown. So instead of just using custom settings, which is kind of the current state, it's been for a while, every one of them was custom. You can now inherit from an instance level. And now that we have the group ID attribute, we can also inherit from the group level. So with all of this coming together, we should have most of the pieces in place to start launching functionality. All of this today is being developed behind a feature flag as we put the various pieces in place, but we're really hoping we can have that removed soon. We're also working on moving the Jira Connect application and the DVCS connector features to core. So first, a little bit of background on this. We recently released the Jira issue list functionality, and that is a premium feature on GitLab. There are three different ways that you can integrate Jira. So the GitLab integration is from GitLab connecting to Jira. And then there are two different integrations on the Jira side that connect to GitLab. So if you're on the Jira software, which is their self-hosted installation, you can use the DVCS connector. And so that allows you to connect your version control system, whether it's us or GitHub or something else, or Bitbucket, sorry, or something else. You can connect that thing to Jira, where Jira can grab information about the commits and the repository. And it's pretty basic functionality. That's all that's available in self-hosted. On the Jira Cloud side, the SaaS offering, there's this Connect application marketplace. And so we have an app in there. It's the GitLab for Jira app. It allows you to do similar things, but there's more to it. Today, you can get the commit and repository information. In the next 5 releases, we're adding information about builds, the repository first, then builds, then deployments, and then feature flags. And the first thing we want to do before we do all of those other pieces is we'd like to move this to core, making it free for all of our users. The rationale here is kind of listed specifically really low success rate on installation for them. And it's confusing. So today it's a premium feature, but you don't actually see any of that functionality inside of GitLab. So it's really good for users to understand why it's a paid feature. We're also really not going to expand it beyond adding more data. This is functionality that lives inside of Jira. We're just feeding it with data from GitLab. And the more data that we provide allows those customers to have a better experience. So all in all, it's a better experience to have this in free. There's no reason for us to try to monetize it. This is a thing for Jira to experience. And so we want to bring this to core. We'll be doing that, and we'll be expanding it over time. So one of our OKRs for Q3 is to improve performance. We're looking at a bunch of different ways to improve performance, but one of them is by migrating more components to pajamas. So Tori has an awesome overview of all of the epics that are involved here. But I want to just highlight one of them because it's huge and it's a great example of it. These are the 8 different components that we're looking at migrating: alerts, pagination, buttons, dropdowns, modals, tabs, pop-ups, and tooltips. And that team has done an awesome job starting to break down each one of those things, finding all of the instances of those components, and then creating some readmes on how you actually go do that thing. So here's an example. So for the buttons view, deprecated button instances of if you're interested in working on that, there are 162 open issues. I guess some of them are closed now, which is exciting. But there are 162 instances of GI deprecated button that we need to migrate to GI button. And if you're interested, the way that you can do it, there's a video walkthrough. But you need to set up the GDK. So like, look at these awesome instructions. Set up the GDK, get all of your things ready to go, check out the branch, and then here's the button that you're migrating to. Here's some ways you can troubleshoot. Here's help on how you can find it. Like, this is awesome. Great instructions to walk through it. People of all stripes from across our team, all sorts of different GitLab team members have been pitching in. This is fantastic. And these instructions are a great way to do that. You can actually just follow the README here. So 64 instances that are here. Feel free to pick these up. A ton of people have already been assigned. Look at this. This is awesome. And we already have some scheduled for 13.4. Right? I think we have a couple more that are wrapping up in 13.3. Right? Yeah, there's one. And we can also see like a few of them have already been done. Actually, a bunch have been done, which is awesome. So this is only one example. We have so many more components in here, right? Like this one has another 65. Here are 14 instances of this modal, the deprecated modal 2, right? Let's get rid of that and migrate it to a more appropriate component. So it's awesome. Please pitch in your work. Your work and participation is sorely needed if we want to make this a success. Finally, with the GDK, speaking of the GDK, right, like you're going to need to use that if you are migrating components with us. The GDK, the installation process is not awesome. So we want to simplify the installation process. And so in 13.4, we're looking at adding a one-line curl command, or a one-click install. It's typey, right? But we want to add a one-line curl command just to make it easier to install the GDK. There are a bunch of different steps involved. If you look at all of the steps on the prepare your environment page, right, or prepare your system, there's so many little steps involved. And so we've recently moved to ASDF, which is a great package manager that allows you to manage a bunch of different pieces instead of having to manage each one of those languages directly. Um, ASDF allows you to manage a bunch of these requirements all at once. So that's awesome. That'll simplify things for us. But we want to still create even simpler experience by having a single thing you can copy paste, hit enter, and the GDK is installed. So that's it for all of the categories and all of the stuff we're working towards the best release ever. And I will see you in a month.